Mohamed Salah signs for Liverpool, 2-year contract until 2027. The news that we've all been waiting for. Every Liverpool fan is absolutely delighted with the news today. Mohamed Salah signing a new contract, an extension to 2027. Virgil Van Dijk is next, by the way. So, what does Mohamed Salah's contract mean? 20 million a year, according to reports. Naj, how important is this news? How important, not just for the season, for the boosted season, but going the next couple of seasons?
Well,
We need him. We need him.
happy Mo Salah Day. That's what it is today. I know I'm over the moon. I always thought that he'd sign. You know, obviously what come out in the news with him, obviously saying to the forgot the name of them now, the interviewers and stuff like that after the games. Like he never really does that. And then when he was saying that, like that sort of confirmed that for me, like he wanted to stay. And I think he handled it well. But
Yeah.
what Carragher said, he's completely wrong. The one that has ended up not signing a contract is the one that Carragher's
Answered anything. Yeah.
But yeah, Salah, I mean, if he's not already a Liverpool legend, which he definitely is, he's solidified that today. He could have quite clearly gone to be the biggest name in, Asian football, if you like,
and he probably will do. He probably will do.
Yeah. But I think that's credit to how much of a good player he is. Like he could do that now, and a lot of players have done that younger than him, and at this sort of age now. Fabinho, obviously, I mean, he regressed quite massively for Liverpool. That's one of the main ones. He left when he was 30 years old. Salah's coming up to 33 this year, and he's still at the top of his game. And I think that just shows how much of a good footballer he is, and how much of a committed professional he is, and how much he's committed to Liverpool. Is the fact that he couldn't go and do that. He could have gone and done that. He could have gone somewhere. He could have gone for money and stuff, but he stayed and remained at Liverpool. I mean, £20 million a year, it's not too bad, is it, Damo?
it's about. I think I play for £10 a year at Liverpool, if I'm honest. But I think everything. £20 million from the club. Imagine how he gets like sponsorship and things like that. He's making in. Let's be honest. I think any sort of contract he'd been getting elsewhere would have been incredible anyway. And I think from what I'm seeing right now, it seems like FSG have sort of budged a little bit on there. And fair play to them. And I will always praise FSG for the good things that they do. I won't be agenda pushed or biased. My actual full on feelings of FSG, my overall thoughts of them. I still will praise them for if they do well, and they have done that. They've seemed to have sort of budged a little bit. They have followed data. That is what has been sort of pushed out as well. The club strategy being driven by Edwards is the data side of things. But because Salah is doing it, the elite output right now, I think the data is probably going in his favour in terms of what he's producing on the pitch, rather than the age. The thing is, if you actually watch the games, you'll know that without even looking at data. I wonder what happens at Anfield actually when the laptops go down and when the Wi-Fi goes down. Did they actually have to go watch football for a little bit? It does make me wonder. It does make me wonder. But yeah, his stay, that's the main thing. I don't care how he stays. I don't care how much he's on. Yeah. He deserves every little penny of it because he's been sensational for 7-8 years now. And this season, he's just stepped it even further. More assists to his name. He's going to break records again this season. And what this does now is it gives him an extra 2 years to add on to legacy and add on to more records because he's going for Harry Kane's goal-scoring record next. And for me, I think, he's up there with a conversation with Thierry Henry for the greatest Premier League player ever. 2 more years. Can he get that?
I think so. I think so. One thing that I think not a lot of people have recognised with the whole... Well, I mean, obviously everyone's made up that Salah is the best player in the world at the minute. But another thing, going off club sort of, and as a fan and, looking at that side of things, like, it makes Liverpool more...
attractive. It does. Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, that's obviously the last thing you're thinking about today, but that's massive. Like, Van Dijk and Salah staying 2 of the best players in the world. Like, Van Dijk, for me, still the best centre-back in the world. And I think a lot of people agree with that. Salah's been the best player in the world this season. And I think that just makes, signing so much more easier. I feel like, it is FSG we are talking about, but I feel like it's more attractiveness, isn't it? Like, you've got 2 of them players. You come into a club where they're absolutely adored by the fans. And I think, if you're a player looking in, I want to be that one day. I want to be like them 3 one day. And that's a good thing to have rather than, say
You want to play with these players as well.
yeah, exactly. And it's like,
I mean, Alan Slot's actually said it. I don't know if you've watched Alan Slot's press conference, but he actually said it. I'll read what he said about that. Actually, it was about summer planning. I think if I put myself in the shoes of a player that we want to sign, it is always nice to see most staying. So that helps. But what helps most, if we keep quality player and has scored so many goals in 7-8 years, you are judged on goals. So it's helpful to having someone who can score. So even Alan Slot said there himself, keeping Mohamed Salah is so important to attract players in the summer.
yeah, it's 100%, 100%. It's just, like if you're coming in, like Liverpool, quite clearly, we need a striker, we need one, and that's just the bottom line. We know Nunez is out the door in the summer. I can't see a world where he stays at Liverpool. The performances are terrible. He looks like his head's already gone. It looks like he's already halfway out the door already. And if you're a striker, let's say per se Isak, for example, if Salah goes, I don't know if we get Isak, not, but this is just an example. If Salah goes, that makes it look for Isak, I'm going to come in and be the main man instantly, because Luis Diaz, as good as he is, he's not consistent enough. Jota had a poor season by his standards. Obviously he's very injury prone as well. Gakpo's been very good this season, but again, he got injured and it sort of doesn't look the same at the minute. But I think he'll come back to fruition at some point. But Isak coming in, for example, if he comes in now, you've got Salah on that side. You're watching the games he's playing. The man's got 17 assists in the Premier League. I bet, you're looking at that like, oh my God, I can play with this guy who's going to give me the ball and a plate every single game. I'd score loads of goals that, and that's, sort of looking at that side of things. It's brilliant. I mean, I'm buzzing today. I've not got off Twitter all day. I've been
so even a James Pearce bad news bomber doesn't even get me down. The fact that he came out and said, look, we're not signing Virgil van Dijk today. It's not going to be done today. Despite Dave Elcott saying that it is. James Pearce shut that down within like a minute of Dave Elcott saying anything. But yeah, that's like Pearce. Pearce will always Pearce. But yeah, like I said, I'm absolutely delighted with the news today. It's the boost that we need this season.
100%.
It has been a negative month for 2 months. We have been playing poor for 2 months now. We've lost to Fulham. We lost Carabao Cup final. We lost against PSG in the Champions League. This could be the difference between us pushing on now and make sure we get that league title over the line.
Yeah, I mean, I put a tweet out this morning. I said I want to hear the Mo Salah song for 90 minutes against West Ham on Sunday. And I think that's what will happen, because I just think, it's going to be such a huge lift. And I just hope it lifts everyone in the ground. I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll lift the players as well. Like, I'm he's staying with us. That man up there who scored us all the goals and getting us out of doo-doo is staying with us for another 2 years. So it makes everyone's life easier, doesn't it? Like with Salah staying, you can, he said himself, I remember watching the interview with McManaman, I don't know if you remember it, and he said, he feels like this has been his best season. And I agree with that. Like, he was fantastic in his first season. He's been massive for us for like 7 or 8 years. But this season, he said like he feels like he's making other players better, and I couldn't agree more. Like, he's made, players who have probably not been that good around him in certain, games or whatever. He's made them better because of how good he's been, and that for me, if you make other players better around you, that means you are the top of the game.
Exactly, and Virgil van Dijk seems to be next. Even Paul Joyce has come out and said, "Look, Virgil van Dijk will sign another contract, 2-year extension, just like Mohamed Salah." And one thing that got me right the most today is what he said about his daughter, and this is exactly what he said about his daughter. That his daughter is the most happiest of him signing a new contract, which is, it just sums up football, sums up Mohamed Salah, sums up how important like this club is to me and how important this club is to these players. Maka was the happiest. She wanted us to stay. Maka and all her friends at her at her school. It feels like home. Everyone is happy. I mean, that just sums everything up, because people don't realise these families, they're settled in schools, and she's made so much friends at their schools. Just to up and leave, you don't realise how much of an impact that is on especially to a different country. It's massive, and how important that is for stability for his child and his daughter and his family.
Yeah.
Knowing that he's here for another 2 years at least. It's just beautiful. It really is beautiful. What is the way he's gone around it, the way Mohamed Salah's been at this club. the way he's continuing being a constant role model around society, around the community, a huge role model for Muslims and Islam across the world. And I hope he's never going to change that way. He's just going to be absolutely delight. He's been a delight to watch for the last 7-8 years, and I'm just excited to even watch him for 2 more years. I think we've been blessed to have him as a Liverpool player.
I'd seen a very good tweet actually from Melissa Reddy, what she put about Salah. I don't know if you've seen it this morning, and it was talking about.
I glanced from it, but I didn't read it into. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I retweeted it because I thought, you know what, that's like, you know, this is what sort of transcends football in a way. Like, you know, I mean, it is a job at the end of the day, but you know, it's a lot more than that to a lot of people. But you know, I read the tweet and I thought, you know what, like it's sort of like. It made a lot of sense, you know, talking about how Salah used to travel hours and hours a day to go to training, 14, and then he said he went to Europe when he was 19 to make a career for himself. And he said, you know, he's at this point now, he's come to Liverpool, like, you know, halfway across the world, and this is, you know, this is his people, this is where he's settled, and like this, you know, and to think that it's true, isn't it? Like, you know, he's such a good player. I mean, that obviously helps a lot, but he's loved by everyone, isn't he? And the one thing I've loved about him since he started playing for Liverpool is he always plays football with a smile on his face, and that is priceless to me because it's just, you know, feel good energy, isn't it, around the club with him. Great player.
Funny enough, you know, when you go on Facebook right now, look at like memories, and what popped up on my memory yesterday was 7 years ago. Build Salah a statue. I put my memories, and it's funny how 7 years ago I was saying that.
Yeah.
And I think that was the season we signed him. It was just unbelievable. In that Champions League run against Roma as well. I think was that season when we signed him. I can't think.
Yeah, it was with the white collar on there.
Yeah, and I just thought that's 7 years ago. We've had 7 more years of Mohamed Salah being the greatest, and this season even better. He will, for me. He's alongside Steven Gerrard now for the Premier League, for Liverpool greats in terms of impact on Liverpool, in terms of just how I feel about a player. It's an absolute delight, and this needed to come. I wish it came earlier. I wish it didn't have to go to the last 6 months of the contract. It shouldn't have gone to the 6 months of the contract, but I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's over, and I just want to watch the football now. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the season. Enjoy what is going to be our 20th Premier League title. I just think it's fantastic. Whilst we're on, in terms of aiming for achievements, make sure you do like, subscribe, and follow this channel as well, please. We are. I'm just going to put this out right now. We are 99,000 of just over 99,000 views since starting in October. We are 787 views off 100,000 views since starting in October. So thank you everyone that's ever watched Talking Reds. Make sure you do subscribe as well. We are on 278 subscribers. We're nearly to 300 subscribers, so 22 off that. Like as much as you can. If you can like the video, it would help us out massively. If we can get at least 20 likes on this video, 1 million for every million that Salah is earning this year for Liverpool Football Club, make sure you smash that like. Thank you for watching. Have a great game, Reds, and Mohamed Salah. Thank you for signing, and it's a pleasure to have you here at this club.